Now going to our beloved Professor K. Pushpanadham. I'm inviting him to come over the screen. He is a professor of educational management, the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda, Gujarat, and coordinator of UGC DSA program. And today he is going to deliver his speech on leadership styles for new formal of post-COVID in higher education. A few words from Professor Karanam Pushpanadham to introduce him. He is a professor of educational management. He is a member of Senate, Indian Institute of Fashion Technology, Ministry of Textiles, Government of India. Another side of Professor Pushpanadham, coordinator of UGC DSA program, visiting professor at various national and international universities as well. He is the recipient of Swedish Institute's guest professorship at the International Institute of Education, Stockholm University of Sweden. He is the recipient of Erasmus Mundus Fellowship to be the guest professor at the Aarhus University, Denmark. He is the active member of ASEM Network and Asia Euro Foundation, Singapore. He is guiding his PhD students in the field of education and educational management. He has published books in the area of educational management, teacher education, MOOCs, and digital learning, which is the need of the hour, providing training and development for educational personnel at national and international levels. He is a member of various academic committees of NAC, UGC, NCRT, NIPA, and other universities in India and abroad. And he is continuously conducting research projects in the area of educational leadership and teacher education. So most welcome, Dr. Pushpanadham. We are very glad that you have consented, you have given your kind consent to be present in our webinar, in our virtual platform, and deliver a speech. Thank you so much. You are most welcome. It's over to you.
Very good morning to everyone. And at the outset, let me thank Dr. Shawli Acharya for inviting me to share some of my ideas about leadership to this August gathering. I'm also very happy to see my colleague, Dr. Banerjee, and also my colleagues, Dr. Sashi, on the screen. Friends, we are actually undergoing a very, very difficult time. A time where we are strictly following social distancing. But I'm very happy this social distance did not stop us to connect digitally. Therefore, the lockdown probably is for the institutions, the physical form of organizations. But the learning and communication has never locked down and never stopped. I think that is the kind of situation that we are in. When you look back, what has actually happened in March 21st, when the lockdown started, we were instructed to follow certain very strict regulations. They were very, very important at the time, because if we want to save our life and also save the lives of others and the nation's progress, we need to be distancing. We need to maintain social distance. And we need to follow certain very strict health and hygiene principles, which we could do that. But in spite of that, the cases have reached 1.5 and almost 5,000 cases are of the mortality. Friends, even in this kind of situation, what good thing that happened that we need to remember? One thing is, over the world, all the institutions of learning have stopped. In a sense, they are the institutions where there is a lot of socialization takes place. Because learning is all about socialization, communication, and coming together, living together. But then we all jumped into a technological world and started exploring to connect people. And we want to connect people because we wanted to share, and we have exhibited our quality of a social being. And the technology has helped us to do that. Friends, we must confess that our entry to technological world is not a planned program. When everything got shut, when we were trying to explore the possibilities, we could see this island with hope. We started experimenting with the technological devices. And over the period of time, what is happening, we are able to succeed in connecting people, sharing our knowledge, and also working together. The friends are here, the leadership, which is a very, very important aspect. And what really leaders do in the institutions when there is a crisis of this time is the question that we need to address. Whether leaders leave everything and then say that it is impossible to continue the organization and look for some kind of prosperity and work, or leaders convert the challenges into promises and also continuously inspire people. Therefore, there is no fear in them, and that the motivation continues to be there in them. Friends, leadership in crisis is a very, very important thing, and the leaders play a very important role. So I must make it very clear now, the leadership cannot be seen as a position, as a post, as a position, but it has to be seen as a passionate action. So what the kind of leaders that usually we come across are not really the leaders, but they are the bosses. The bosses instruct the followers, and the leaders inspire the followers. There is a huge difference. When the boss instructs the followers, followers follow it because there is a fear component into it. But when the leaders inspire the followers, there is a component of what you call it as a charisma. I think today what is required for educational institutions is the charismatic leadership, which is very, very important. We are not looking for the bossism. We are not looking for an autocratic the leadership styles in the organizations. But we are actually looking for a kind of leadership that really inspire people and increase their motivation and enhance their performance. Therefore, organizational goals can be better achieved. And what research actually talks about when you talk about leadership and why leaders are very, very important to the organizations. The research says, if you want to improve the organizational efficiency, the leadership matters. That shows it is the quality of the leader which can give lot of organizational climate and organizational behavior, which is a very important thing. So when there is a conducive organizational climate and organizational behavior, that has a larger repercussions on the work performance of individuals. And friends, we know when individuals are employed in the organization, they are basically employed to perform. Therefore, the leadership must give a kind of motivation to employees to perform and reach to the goals. And we know only the performance of the employees can really lift the performance of the organizations. And therefore, what kind of leadership is essential to increase the morale and the motivation of the employees and create a kind of a conducive environment in the organization? Therefore, every individual really own the institution and reach out to the goals. Friends, there is a beautiful saying. It says, leaders are ordinary people with extraordinary determination. which is a very, very important thing. Unless and until you have a strong determination towards your goal, you cannot lead the people. And the determination actually talks about certain various other things. What is it? It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to lead your organizations in a hurry way, you can take decisions by yourself and you can instruct your people, and that is called a controlling mechanism. But if you want to go far, you must go together. I think this is the leadership which is a very, very important thing today that we need in the crisis situation. How to take people together and how to take the concerns of everyone, and therefore the ownership that can really flow in the organizations. Friends, whenever you talk about leadership, it talks about power, it talks about responsibility, and it talks about the hierarchical ranking. So when there is a power, and the power has to be used for the institutional growth and development. So here, a beautiful saying, it says, the power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So which basically talks about a good leader knows how to use power for individual transformation, and that result into institutional transformation. And power is such a thing, then the followers basically follow by deriving certain power bases. If they know the leader can give you some kind of merit, some kind of gift, some kind of promotion, they follow you. And the followers follow you when they know that if they don't follow the leader, they will have the repercussions in their job, in their life, therefore they follow. The friends, these kind of followership, the relation between the leader and the follower, is a very, very short-term time bound. We don't need such kind of leadership in educational organizations. So educational organizations require what you call it as a charismatic leader, which is enduring. So the leaders follow you basically not because you hold a power, not because you have the power to give, you have power to punish, you have power to gift, but they strongly believe that you are the source of the inspiration, source of information, and the source of transformation. So when the followers take these threes, one is they take leader as a source of information and a source of inspiration and a source of transformation. And such kind of a leader and the follower relationship will continue for longer time. So what actually we need to do in a situation of this kind? Friends, the vision is a very, very important thing. See, today all the institutions are shut down and we jumped into a different what we call a learning platforms where the universities are digitally connected. Therefore, there should be a vision of the leader, and the vision should not be blind, but the vision has to be a shared vision. So a vision that can really direct the followers towards the institutional goals. So without vision, leadership has no pathway. Therefore, a leader is the one who can really formulate the vision. And when he formulates the vision, he will not formulate the vision and build the castles in the air, but he formulates by understanding the ground realities. So, checking with the ground reality, understanding the individual institutional capacities, and then taking the institutions to a different level, a vision which is formulated. And the vision that is formulated need to be shared across the institutions. Therefore, the vision becomes the ownership of the other employees in the organization as well. And the second important thing is the leaders need to have courage. You know, the courage basically talks about standing in front in the adverse situations, not to really running far away from the situations. Friends, if leaders are not courageous, you can imagine what happens to followers. So that kind of assurance the leaders must give in any kind of situation. Therefore, they come forward and say, I'm here with you and I'm here to work with you. I'm not here to instruct you, but we collaborate and proceed further to take these challenges into prosperity to the institution. The third one is the passion. Somebody said, without passion, the leadership cannot be defined or described. So it is not a position, it is a passion. The passion is something you like more. And we know when you like something, you try to work beyond your comfort zones. When you work beyond our comfort zones, we know what actually happens. But most of the time, what happens in the institutions, we try to be in our comfort zone. Therefore, the passion component in the institutions are absolutely missing. And this basically happens more in situations like COVID-19. The passion actually goes down. There are two important concepts here. To sustain the grit and resilience in the organizations is the very important responsibility of a leader with passion in the situations like COVID. You know, the grit is something that there should be a continued, what you call it as, if there is some kind of difficulty you face in the organizations, you give it up. You don't really hold it to your heart and try and look for the alternatives and try to really encounter the situations. And the resilience is these up and downs that happens in the organizational growth and the crisis will not stop you to pursue. You will pursue till the end. So today at the situation here is important is how to nurture the grit and the resilience in the employees in the organizations is one important thing that is to be very, very important. And the organizations today are basically not the organizations that continue to perform their responsibilities, what they have been doing from the ages. It is a competitive advantage. So the leaders must leverage the capacities and also the competencies and resources of the institutions to create something which is needed of the time and also something that you have endurance. Therefore, what is important is that innovation, the creativity, which is a very, very important thing. So the leaders need to build innovative institutions. And education institutions are essentially learning organizations where knowledge is generated, knowledge is disseminated, knowledge is applied, and the social issues and problems are better addressed. And that leads to human well-being. Therefore, what is important is to build up an innovative institution. There are three important components that leaders need to exercise. One is leaders need to be informative. They cannot take decisions without having proper information. Today, we are talking about the information age. Therefore, the leaders must get all kinds of information, what you call it as a data analytics. And with that kind of information, if they take decisions, those decisions becomes informed decisions, rational decisions, and the whole process becomes rational decision-making process, which is a very important thing. So the second one is imagination. The leaders in the innovative institutions need to be imaginative. I remember a beautiful the line that I come across in the Nobel Museum. It says, what you see today was once imagined. What a nice word. What you see today, what you experience today, what we experience today was once imagined. It was actually created in the minds of somebody. And it took different shapes. And today is the reality. Therefore, leaders need to be imaginative. The thinking process has to continue to happen. It's not maintaining the institutions, but the development of the institutions require innovation, and the innovation requires imagination. And the third important component for the leaders of this context is leaders need to be what you call initiative. The initiation must come from within. If leaders don't initiate, what do you expect from the followers? Therefore, there should be always a forward march towards the leader, and the march has to begin from the leader, and even he's the alone to take it forward. Friends, I remember the Rabindranath Tagore Sangeet. I like two important, the phenomenal work of him. One is the Gitanjali, the prayer, which talks about where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free. What a wonderful words. Whether we can create our educational institutions where the mind is without fear and the people can lift their head and work for the self-development and also the national development. And the second, when I said leaders need to be initiative, they must take a step forward even if they are alone. I remember the wonderful song. It's in Bengali. Jodi toru dakshune kyuna she tobe ekla chalo re. Ekla chalo, ekla chalo, ekla chalo re. Jodi toru dakshuna kyuna she tobe ekla chalo re. I think that is the kind of leadership we require to transform the institutions. Leaders keep on walking with inspiration, with what you call determination. And this determination can inspire many people to follow. And this is what happened if you see the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi in the freedom struggle. He put his step alone, the first, and he could see the wonders that happened later. Friends, finally, I conclude by saying that every one of us are leaders. So we all have leadership roles to play in our own front. So in educational institutions, the positional leader is the one. But every individual, as it is a teacher or a student, so they need to exercise leadership. Therefore, it is the time to find and explore the leader in us. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And I once again thank Dr. Shauli Acharya and the organizing team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful speech, mainly related to making leaders. And some points are really notable in your speech. First of all, I should mention as a Bengali, and the things have already come in the mind of all the Bengalis who are present here, that a nice quotation you have mentioned, being a non-Bengali. You have nicely mentioned a quotation from Rabindranath Tagore, even a song. It's nice to hear from you, the wonderful pronunciations that our sir has captured in this time, in this very short time, and especially has rendered this for us, for the Bengalis. And even I would like to mention your fear component and charismatic leadership. It's nice to hear that leaders should not be feared. They should not create an environment within the society or within the institution that people get fear for them and get scared of them. Rather, there should be a charismatic leadership. We will surely keep this in mind when we will be there in our institutions back again and teach our students that they need not to get scared of us. Rather, communication, a friendly relationship could be made. And your points are highly noted as how good leaders could be to go smoothly with the institution and in the classroom as well. Thank you so much for spending your precious time with us in this virtual platform. Looking forward for many more sessions with you in our coming future. And now it's time to take a glance on the chat box. If some questions are there for us, sir. Participants, if you have any questions, you please come to the chat box. I should mention one comment. This is a question. Ekla Chalore, a wonderful reminder